There's a place down south that some refer to as the end of the world, full of glaciers, enormous peaks, and rich with wildlife that has learned to thrive in the harshest conditions. Where the weather writes the story and nature always has the final say. For years, visiting this place felt like a distant dream, a place that always felt just out of reach. But I finally made it. This is my trip to Patagonia. We wake to a soft Patagonian sunrise, sailing the Darwin Route with Australis Cruises. One of the few cruise lines dedicated to this route, Australis takes passengers through the narrow fjords and untouched channels of southern Patagonia. Being here feels special, a chance to see Patagonia in a way that very few ever do. Our first landing is Ainsworth Bay. We load into the Zodiacs and glide toward the shore, dwarfed by mountains shaped by ice. A short hike leads us to a viewpoint overlooking the surrounding moraine. We pause to take in the scenery and snack on some wild berries before finally reaching the top where the full panorama unfolds. It's so wild to think that this entire landscape was once buried beneath glaciers. We head back to the ship for a short break before approaching a small island scattered with movement. As we jump into the Zodiacs to get a closer look, they finally come into view. Magellanic penguins. They're a little camera shy, but we were fortunate enough to see a few couples waddling side by side and tending to their burrows. We continue on and pass a nest of cormorants perched on the cliffside, before heading back to the Ventus Australis. The next morning, we wake to heavy rain as we navigate through the fjords towards the Beagle Channel. Trips like this don't promise perfect weather, and I'm slowly learning that maybe that's the point. The rain slows everything down, and it forces you to look differently. To notice the waterfalls forming where there were none yesterday. I find I'm always hoping for the perfect conditions, but Patagonia isn't meant to be a controlled experience. Its magic comes in the unexpected. We spent some time photographing the petrels trailing in our wake and looking up at the towering mountains around us before the magic finally showed up. Our arrival into Pia Sound felt otherworldly, with low-hanging clouds drifting between the jagged peaks. We head toward the shore in the Zodiacs, getting closer and closer to the enormous wall of ice. The scale is absolutely immense. No matter how many glaciers I see, I'll always be in awe. The deep blues, the fractures in the ice, the sound of it calving, it really is a feeling that never gets old. This is a place that will always stand out in my memory, and one I hope to revisit someday soon. As we sail through the Beagle Channel, we pass through what's known as Glacier Alley. Waterfall after waterfall and glacier after glacier, we can't help but to stand on the main deck, soaking in the endless beauty of this wild landscape. Massive walls of ice slide by the ship, disappearing into the clouds. And to top it all off, a pod of humpback whales passing right by the ship. Morning brings a sliver of golden light as we approach the southernmost island on Earth, Cape Horn. This small island marks the meeting point of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, one of the most treacherous maritime routes in history. For centuries, sailors feared these waters. Today, a Chilean naval officer and their family live here for 1 year at a time, maintaining the lighthouse and weather station and continuing a tradition of guarding this remote outpost. Standing here at the very edge of the world, it's impossible to not feel humbled by the raw isolation and history surrounding you. Later, we step onto the bridge of the Ventus Australis. Watching the captain navigate these narrow fjords gives you a whole new respect for the journey. The ship is built specifically for this route and designed to access places few other passenger vessels can reach. We enjoy a slow afternoon watching the wildlife from the decks as the ship glides gently through the fjords towards our next destination. We wake to golden light spilling across Ushuaia. For this trip, we're on the full 8-day route, but you can also sail one way between Punta Arenas and Ushuaia. We spend the morning on deck, soaking in the sweeping views of the southernmost city in the world. Later as we depart, we cast a final glance back at the city and the mountains rising behind it. The sun puts on a stunning show before disappearing into a massive rain shower trailing behind us. Our next stop takes us to Wulaia Bay. This was once a meeting place between Charles Darwin, Captain Robert Fitzroy, and the native Yamana people, an area rich in archaeological and cultural history. We hike through the forest to sweeping viewpoints over the bay. And just as we return to the Zodiacs, a pod of dolphins begins leaping through the waves beside us. The following morning is slow. Low fog hugs the mountains. Fresh snow cuts a white line halfway down dark rock faces, and waterfalls are rushing in every direction. I'm still learning to take the weather as it comes. It can't always be sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it's mist and silence. We pass through Glacier Alley again. This time, the waterfalls are even stronger. I'll admit, this was an incredibly peaceful morning, a welcome change of pace after the intensity of the previous days. By afternoon, we reach Porter Glacier. Vibrant blue ice stands in sharp contrast against the black rock and low cloud. We switch off the engine and let the silence take over, listening to the deep, echoing sounds of shifting ice. Moody, dramatic, and truly unforgettable. The next morning, the sky shows a glimpse of hope for sunrise, with the crescent moon glowing and the clouds beginning to light up. As we sail through the stunning Alberto di Agostini Fjord, the rugged peaks briefly glow with the morning light before the rain moves in. In the distance, layers upon layers of mountains stretch into the mist. And just as we think the light is gone, we look back, and stretching across the entire fjord is the most incredible rainbow I've ever seen. We push through the rain and the sky again opens up as we drop anchor in the Agostini Fjord, surrounded by majestic peaks. The Zodiacs load up and head between the narrow mountains toward Condor Glacier, bringing us face to face with yet another immense wall of ice. We soak in the views, feeling so small beneath the ice of one of the largest glaciers in the Agostini Fjord system. Back on board, we sneak in a quick game of chess while the crew prepares for our next landing, Aguila Glacier. Fed by the Darwin ice field, this glacier flows down from the mountains into a rocky shoreline that feels completely untouched. We wander along the shore to get a closer look, with every viewpoint feeling completely different to the last. This was another one of those moments that felt particularly special, one that I'll always remember. As the wind calmed and sunshine slipped through, the captain decided to push us deeper into the Agostini Fjord, revealing more of its epic glaciers. We spent some time on deck enjoying the views, letting the quiet and beauty of this place sink in. Our final morning in Patagonia. A burning sunrise marks the end of our journey. We've arrived at Magdalena Island, and as we step on shore, we're greeted by thousands of Magellanic penguins. Home to more than 60,000 penguins during peak breeding season, this island is one of the largest colonies in southern Chile. Walking among them as they waddle between burrows is truly special. Standing beneath the lighthouse on Magdalena Island, watching the penguins disappear into the surf, I can't help but to feel grateful for wild places like this and the chance to witness them. This journey through Patagonia has been powerful in so many ways that I didn't expect. Wild, humbling, and endlessly beautiful. It wasn't just a destination, it was the entire journey that made this trip unforgettable. And honestly, I already can't wait to come back.